Okay, let's go.
On today's episode, we're putting 37s in a lift kit on this Bronco. What's going on, everybody? So today we have that beautiful 2021 Wild Track Sasquatch package Bronco. Right now, other than some small cosmetic upgrades like the roof cover, different grille, the owner of this vehicle did a couple other little modifications inside, some accessories here and there, just to make it a little more user-friendly and aesthetically pleasing. So he reached out to me and said, I want to lift this thing. What should I do? So the owner of this vehicle likes things done right, and I can't blame him. So we have full Fox coilovers. We have the Ford Performance spare tire relocation kit. We have billet Icon upper control arms for it. We have RCI rock sliders with the built-in step plates and a couple other little things. So we're gonna get to unpackaging all this and see what we need to do, because I personally have not worked on these. I'm a big Toyota guy when it comes to off-roading, and I've had several Jeeps also. So I know all the ins and outs of 4Runners, Tacomas, FJs, those quick with. We're gonna figure this one out though. I can't see it being too difficult. And hopefully, since it's a relatively new vehicle with low mileage and it's in very good shape, we don't run into too many rusty bolts. Let's check out this parts pile. All right, so first things first, we got the Bronco in. I like to take pieces of tape and I put them roughly right here on the center of the fender and a straight line up from the center of the wheel. We'll do that on all four corners. We do that so we can take a measurement before the lift. This drove in here, I haven't lifted it up yet, so that's how the suspension sits and drives currently factory. This vehicle does have, I believe, 1.5 inch wheel spacers on it. I will confirm that. But these are our coilovers. They're the Fox 2.5 Elite Series with high and low speed compression dampening. They come with your reservoir brackets, clamps. These are the fronts. These are your rears, again, same ones. They got rebound and They have compression, high and low speed. These do not have rebound adjustability. We've got our mounting brackets and everything that they supply that you need. And of course, decals. So before we put this thing in the air, we're gonna take all of our measurements and then get it up, get the tires and wheels off of it, start ripping it apart. I can't wait to see this thing done. Oh, guys, here, got 37s going on it. So these are the Falcon AT4Ws. This vehicle is mostly a daily driver, family car. That's a good friend of mine's. So we're gonna make sure everything is perfect. And then we're gonna be bringing it over to Fully Loaded Performance and have them do the alignment on it. We also have upper control arms. I almost forgot to show you guys these. Went all out on these and got the billet delta joint adjustable upper control arms. These are beautiful pieces. They come laser engraved. Very nice. Let's get to it. All right. Is the mic not working? There it is. It started working. See, it's telling me right there on the screen. All right. Hopefully you heard what I said the first time, but let's get some measurements on this thing. 38 and 7/8. And we measured that right there. 38 and 7/8. Double check that. Yep. All right, we're gonna do that on all four corners. This is what we ended up with. We've got our centering mark, which is basically right over the center of the axle there. We have 38 and 7/8. And then the other side, we have 38 and 7/16 right there. So typically on most of these vehicles, you will find that there's a little bit of a driver lean. It's typical. Toyotas are really bad for it. Rear on the driver's side, we have 39 3/4. So about an inch higher in the rear, which I feel is a really good rake. I like a little bit of rake. I hate when the nose ends up too high. 7/8 on this side. So only an 1/8 inch difference in the rear. And like I said, 38 and 7/8 on this side. So let's get to pulling this thing apart. We'll get it up on the lift. I'm gonna put you guys on the fast forward and we can make some magic happen here. I'm excited for this one. It's gonna be cool. Here, we want to pull out the center fender liner. You can probably do this without removing it, but this makes it a lot easier. So you have a whole bunch of these little screw-in fasteners all the way around here, and then over here, oh, it looks like someone didn't put one back in right here. There, now you can see. So you got some screws holding it here, and then some push pins down here that we'll take out. So we'll get all those popped out. You guys can see anything here. Let me see if I can adjust you a little. How about that? All right, we'll get working on this. I think we got them all. Let's see if we can massage this out. You gotta watch you don't lose any of these little metal clips on the upper portion where the actual screws were, because the rest of them are those throwaway plastic clips. I gotta show you guys something like that. Also, this is what we're working with. So, things we're gonna have to do is probably read the instructions, maybe. But we gotta pop out this upper control arm bolt, which on this looks like it's gonna be much easier than in Toyotas. And we'll probably have to loosen up this steering knuckle here, pop this off, slide this through. Now, if you guys have to do this on any vehicle, make sure your steering wheel is straight, which ours is, and make sure you don't turn your wheels, because when you want to reconnect that, otherwise your steering wheel won't be in the center. That'll be all messed up. You don't want that. So we'll pop that steering shaft loose. We'll pop this upper control arm bolt loose. Then we'll loosen up this nut here, smack this with a hammer, which will separate the ball joint from the upper control arm. Then we can take this off the rest of the way. We'll support the lower assembly here, the spindle and the hub and bearings and axle and all that stuff, and lower this down. Take this control arm out. There's 3 bolts up top. Don't take out the center one. If you're doing this yourself, do not take out the center one. That's actually what's holding the shock assembly and pinching the spring down. You'll release that spring tension. You can get really messed up if that hits you. It'll hurt or break some stuff. So you only take out these 3 upper bolts, and then that loosens up the whole coilover assembly. And then down on the bottom there is a bolt on each side with a nut on the bottom. take out those 2 bolts and remove your coilover assembly. Then we can put new coilover in, new upper control arm in, reattach the spindle, reattach any other lines and miscellaneous things that we might have in the way, and rock and roll. I don't even think we're gonna have to take the, the sway bar off. We might have to. I'll let you know if I do, but I think it can stay on there and we can work with it the way it is. Same with steering. I think all that can stay right on there. It's a pretty easy truck to work with. Random piece of tape. Don't need that. Lots of electronics. Look at all the wires in this thing. You cannot leave the inner fenders out of these. Oh my goodness. Look at it. Every bit of electrical stuff is right behind that piece of cardboard. I don't really like that. I wonder if people make aftermarket fender liners for these. I put them in my Toyotas. I'm sure somebody has to make them. I might have to look into that. Anyways, I'm gonna get to work on this. Crank this up. 2-hand action. All right, we know that's coming right out now. Let's see if we can separate that steering arm. Might need a pry bar in there. Let's get a little pry bar in there. And that should come loose then. It's almost there. There she goes. All right, perfect. Now just make sure this stays indexed, same as this, so you can put this right back on the way it was, because if you start turning this like that, you're moving the wheel inside. So that will line up directly back in there, so that that bolt goes straight in there and will be perfect. Just make sure that doesn't rotate. Now, we should be able to grab this bolt. Might need the, oh, I got it loose enough. Take this bolt and washer off of here, and then that should slide right out. I have my transmission jack underneath this. You can just use a bottle jack, or if you're doing this on the ground, just put another jack underneath. But this should slide right out now, just like that. All right, I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna quick take this bolt off, which that socket is right here, which is a 18. It's a weird size, 18. Not many 18s. This should pop loose. All right, come on. Ow, that hurt. I'm gonna leave that right there for a sec. Now you take your hammer, and don't ever hit your upper control arm. You hit this knuckle here and it should pop out. Stay. All right, I don't like doing this, but we'll give it a couple taps. We're not reusing these, so don't be afraid to give her some wax. You ain't gonna hurt this. There she goes. Now we can pop this out the rest of the way. This is now sitting on this jack, so we can take off the rest of the way. So that's it. Save this hardware. This is the upper control arm bolt. This is the bolt for the ball joint. And this comes out the rest of the way. We will set this over here for safekeeping. And then this guy should be ready to come out. And then that stays there. We got plenty of slack on all of our lines and everything here, so that's good. And this guy comes right on out. Look at this difference. Junk, strong like bull. Beautiful. Now, I want to disconnect this and these 3 bolts up here. You can't see, there's this one and another one back here. That's all the same. And those should be a 10, no, 13. I think those are going to be a 13 also. Let's see. No, they're bigger than that. Let's go for a 15 shorty and see if that'll be long enough. There's a 14. Nope. 15? Might even be bigger than that. Nope, it is 15. All right, perfect. Those will work. Let's get them on a wrench here. Nope. Might have to use a deep guy. Where is it? This one here? Let's see if we can get in here on this. There's one loose. We'll get all of them loose first. Lots of sharp edges under here. I really hope I don't smack my knuckles on. Let's get all 3 out. Start with the back one first. We got the back one out. Let's put these guys here and get these 2. Hope these glasses are taking a decent video. All 3 uppers are out. Now we can grab this guy here, pop these 2 off. Hopefully these come out nice. Looks like the last person that was on these, probably the dealer again, was a little abusive on those. Not horrible though. Still good to use. Now, this should be loose So we can lower this down a little bit. You know what? Maybe we'll take this CV axle off so it's not pulling on the CV. We'll loosen this bolt up. We gotta pop the CV axle nut off here. We'll get that off. This way that CV axle and this can rotate forwards. I don't know what size that thing is, but it's big. Bigger than 32. 34? Nope, 35? I wanna say that's it. Why isn't it going on there? That's the one. I'm just gonna tap that on there a little better, make sure it's got full purchase. All right, what's holding it? Maybe it is the sway bar. All right, maybe we'll pop that sway bar loose. See what size that guy is. I think it's probably a 19, no, 21. All right. All right, I gotta get pliers on there to hold that thing. Oh no, it does have the Allen key in the back. We're gonna grab Allen keys. You need the Allen keys. God, these are horrible. Not sure what size they are. Let's try this one. No way did I guess it on the first shot. No way. I ain't that lucky. It's really close though. No, one size smaller. No, it was that one. I was right. I just have to get it in there better. See, I did get it on the first try. Come on. Well, that fought me. You gotta take the axle nut off like we assumed. Gotta get these glasses off. All right. Gotta get the axle nut off like we assumed. And then pry this arm down. I had to take the brake line and ABS sensor wire bracket loose so that we have some slack there. And now this should come right out. Now there's our old one. And get rid of this mess and we can put the new one in. Excellent. That's all good there. No rust or anything like that. If you find rust and stuff, paint it. But this one's pretty new and pretty clean, so. In with the new. Just like that. And grab the nuts and washers. Box kit comes with washers and lock nuts for the top. And just so you guys know, the reservoir mounts here on that bracket. We just have to put the bracket in, but you always index this hose facing forwards, or not forwards, but out, and then towards the back of the vehicle. I'm gonna leave these top nuts loose until we get the bottom ones in and where they belong. Now these bottom ones has this sleeve. There's a washer too, right there. But this sleeve is the diameter of the holes in the lower control arm, so those got to go in, and the bolt goes in with that, and it threads right into the base of the coilover. Well, that kicked my butt. So, when you guys are doing this, this lower arm here was locked in position perfectly flat. The bottoms of these are flat, where it rests on the lower control arm, and I, for the life of me, could not rotate these whatsoever. So I had to take the coilover back out, took these nuts off, took the coilover back out, put those bolts in, and then took the coilover and stood it up to turn this lower pivot point where it mounts to the lower control arm. I could not budge it, and I didn't want to mark it up trying to pry on it with a wrench or stick anything in the hole to damage the threads. So that's how I did that. So I put it in there, put the bottom bolts in, pushed it up, took the bottom bolts back out because you got to feed this coilover up and in and then mount the bottom bolts. So that's what worked for me. So now I'm going to get these 3 bolts back on the top, tighten the bottom ones back down, and then hopefully we are good. And then we can mount the reservoir bracket and so on and so forth and all that good stuff. So we're going to just keep cranking on that. I don't know where to put you guys. Where's good for you? Is that good for you? I hope that's good for you. Because if it's not, I don't know what to tell you. Tis what it is. I forgot what size these ones were. I think it was this guy. Bigger than that one. It's got to be this one over here. This one. That's right, it was the awkward one, the 18. Yep. I'll snug these up real quick. Not tightening them yet, just getting them snugged up. And I already have those lower bolts threaded in about halfway. This way they're not fighting me later when I go to snug them up. All right, you got these guys. They go in the joints. So the bigger one goes on this side and in like that. And then this one goes on this side. And you got 2 of these for each side. One thing I like to do, it's not listed in the instructions or anything, but I take just a little bit of grease and I just put it on the outside edge of here. Just as a tiny bit. You're not trying to grease it up, but one, it makes it go in a little bit smoother and it gives it a little bit of friction resistance. So that goes in like that. I'm gonna slide this in, get the bolt going back in it. Another thing I do is I grease that bolt. I should probably do that before I pick this thing up. All right, now this guy should go in here like so. That goes up over the top and it should slide down. That's a very snug fit. My goodness gracious. Okay, see here. Oh, look at that. Would you look at it? Look at it, just like that. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, got our grease on this one already. We'll slide this one right here on the end. We'll get that to line up. Beautiful. And then this guy here, like that. All right, now we got to get our big wrenches back out. We got our 24 here. And where'd my 21 go? I lost it. I got my 24. There it is. It's over here. Hang on. I'll put this guy on here like, and this one on here like, crank away. Crank it. Only 3,794 more turns to go, and we should be there. Okay, and that moves perfectly. So I'm gonna push this up out of the way for the moment. We're gonna get the reservoir bracket mounted, which goes right over here. These are side specific. So this guy will go right back up on there. You know what? That goes on there. This lays over that. I believe goes like this. I'll have to look at that. I don't remember how that goes. I'll have to check. But let me look at that. But we're gonna get the spindle put back into place first, and I'm gonna put a little grease on this too. The joints come pre-greased from the factory, so you don't have to grease the actual delta joint itself, but I like to put a little bit on this taper so it doesn't corrode and rust while it's seated. I got my tranny jack underneath this again. I jacked it up a little bit, pulled the control arm down. We got grease on that ball joint there. I'm gonna jack this up a little bit, just a little bit. We don't wanna lift it off the truck because the weight of that, strength of that coilover right now will pick it up off the lift, so you don't wanna do that. So we are pretty good there. We got this new nut here, which is a 21 millimeter, which will go right on there. Like so. Pull this down together. I gotta double check what the torque spec is on this, but we're just gonna snug it up like that for right now. And then I get to fight with this lower control arm and the sway bar. Reconnect that sway bar, put these brackets back on, mount this bracket, we'll be good to go. Oh, I got this ground strap and these couple bolts here too. We're gonna knock them out. Well, here you go. Got the resi all mounted up, got our bracket in, got this all lined up, our clamps on. We got all of our extra nuts and bolts put back. Brake lines are all hooked back up. We got our ground strap put back in, our couple bolts here that we took out. We got everything torqued down up top. We got our ball joint torqued down. We got our lower bolts all torqued down. We put our axle nut back on. So now all that's left is getting the inner fender liner back in. And what we'll probably end up doing is trimming a little bit of the fender liner right here, just so that our adjustment knobs for the dampening is available, easier to reach. Can't talk, I'm tired. But so show you this side, and then real quick I'll bring you over to this side. So that's the stock boringness, and this is the Fox awesomeness. You're gonna get the cranking on the other side. I'll show you that when it's all done, guys. All right, we're gonna get started on the back now, and hopefully this is gonna be a lot easier than the front was, even though the front wasn't too bad. Do you wanna say hi to the people? Hello, people. Here, give them a 5. I didn't say kisses, I said 5. Give me a 5. Hello, everybody. Can I give the people kisses? All right, so I came in here, we took the fender liner out. It's the same thing as the front. You got Some random little clips and screws that just pops right out. And there's 3 top hat bolts. Again, do not remove the middle one. That's holding the coil over together. I loosened this one up, so there's just this one bolt holding the top in. And basically, that's all that's keeping the axle where it is right now. We take that bolt out and the side drops down. So what we're gonna do is get this thing up in the air a little higher. We'll get some supports underneath the axle. We will take out loosen up that bottom bolt. There's one big bolt in the bottom. Here, I'll show you. Ready? Look at it. Right there. That one. So we got to take that one out. And then should be able to drop the rear end right down, pull stock coilovers out, put the new ones in. Bang, boom. Famous last words. Easy peasy. So we'll set you guys in the background. Maybe do a little fast forward and we'll go from there. We got one more suspension modification for the back too. I'll show you that in a little bit. It's kind of an important one too that most people overlook. Coilovers are out. Now, just like the fronts, we've got these bad mamma jammas we got to put in. And I believe, yep, right, left. For all of you that don't know, when vehicle parts are labeled right and left, right is the passenger side. Picture yourself sitting in the driver's seat. Left is driver, right, passenger. Okay, next up we got to throw these coilover mount brackets on for the reservoir. Let's see here. Where did they go? All right, you get these little spring plates with, I don't know what you want to call them, those clip-on bolt nut things. So right here, in the factory bend in the frame, this slides in the backside like that, and then this guy lays over the top of that. Use the supplied hardware. Well, just go on there. What? Nothing's ever easy. Nope, can't just go on. Oh, that one went in fine. What's the deal? Maybe it's because I can't see anything that's happening right now. You want to go in there now? No, of course you don't. Why not? Now you want to go. Why didn't you want to go a second ago? Let's try this again. Come on. Make it so you got to line up 37,000 different things. Let me see here. I need a wrench. We'll try this one first. See, you just need a little love. It was lonely. We don't want to tighten these up yet. We just got to snug them up because we still want to be able to move this thing around. But that's how that goes. The other side, going to be the exact same thing. If you want to watch, I'll bring you over there. A little darker over here. I don't have a light over here. You're gonna have to manage. Put that there. And then this guy. Go like this. And her. What's the deal? There's one. Sorry, I had a bolt in my mouth. Let's see if this one wants to go. Probably not. No, of course not. I need 37 hands to do this stuff. There's got to be easier ways. I think engineers just like screwing with us. They're like, hey, let's design this bracket so it looks really nice, and then figure out how to make it as difficult to install as possible for somebody. I'm pretty sure that's the game they play. Right where it needs to be. Let's see here. I'm wondering, I can even get this up in there at the moment. There we go. Really, we just want to get at least one nut washer on here to hold it for us. And we got it. Whew. It's not easy by yourself. Lost a nut. Where'd it go? I have no idea. There it is. Got it. No worries. We're going to be okay. I don't think we're going to have to drop this axle way down. Watch out, Mo. Goodness gracious. These rear ones have a ton more travel. Holy crap. How in the Lord's lettuce am I getting this thing in here? There we go. All right. I think we can get it. I think. Again, with the engineers. Don't help a guy with productivity. Hi, Moo. You help with productivity, don't you? Come here. Up, up. You're my big guy. Right? I think we'll be okay. I just gotta lower this a little bit more so I can yank this axle. Okay, we're gonna be okay. Let's see, where's my bolt? This is where having more hands again is very helpful. I wish you had thumbs, buddy. I do, I wish you had thumbs. How on earth can a guy get a brake here? Let's see. I need an idea and I don't have one. I can't, there's nothing on the floor I can chain it to. I just gotta pull the axle down, 1/8 of an inch right now. Can you pull on this for daddy? I don't want to pry on the coilover because I don't want to scratch the finish. So it's not an option, buddy. I know, it's frustrating. Maybe I can do this. Can I get enough out of it? Maybe? Oh, thank you. Oh, we got it. We got grease all over our hands, but we got it. My gosh. So next thing up, we got our coilovers all in. I'll show you those in a second. But the next thing we got to do is a track bar in the back. Once you lift the rear of these things, that track bar is now at an angle. So every time you hit bumps, it tries to shift the axle to one side of the vehicle. In this case, it's mounting on the lower passenger side, so it wants to pull the axle when it droops. It wants to pull it to the driver's side. And that can give you wobbly feeling when going over big bumps and things. So they make this bracket, and this bracket, basically, you come in here, this is your track bar bolt, you loosen that up. We're gonna take this brake line bracket off. There's a relocation tab for this. And then this guy here, see if I can show you, this guy drops right down in there, like that. And then this bolt here in the bottom goes through there, and there's a sleeve that goes in there, and the track bar then goes through this upper portion and tightens down. Then there's a third bolt, which is right there, which they have a billet bushing for that goes in here, and then that tightens down to that hole. So I'll see if I can drop this camera down for you guys and get you in there. Attack! Attack! The ferocious guard dog. What's going on, bud? Oh, you know, almost done with the suspension.
No issues?
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, it's all easy. Easy stuff.
Nothing rotten, nothing.
No, not even really, like that tiny little bit. That's the worst of everything behind the. I left all the flares out, the fender liners, because you can either stuff them over the reservoirs or notch out for them. I would personally notch out for them.
Notch out.
It looks better. Two, you can actually access the knobs and stuff. But I didn't know which way you'd prefer that, so I got all 4 flares out. That's the only thing left, and the whole suspension's done.
Nice.
Yeah. Where's that bracket?
Big.
Yeah, they're massive, man. They're very badass coilovers. All right, let's see here. This guy's gonna go in here. And then, where's the bolts? Where are they? Where did I put those things? All right, finished product. Got this bolt all tightened in with the bushing in the back. Got our sleeve in here so this doesn't squash. And then this bolt is snugged up but not tightened. We have to get the weight of the vehicle on it before we tighten this bolt fully. We got our brake line extension bracket up here. That's all tightened down. Coilovers are in and finished. Everything's torqued to spec. Got our 3 top hat bolts on there. All of our mounts are secured. Everything came out pretty good. One thing I didn't like about this setup is this hose is so tight, it rubs on this bracket and it rubs on the body right there on both sides. So I took a piece of fuel line hose and I wrapped it around the reservoir hose and zip tied it, and then just folded the zip ties to the back so it looks nice and clean, but at least it'll be rubbing on these sharp edges here and here. It'll rub on this and not the actual hose for the coilover. But another thing done. We got to trim the inner fender liners and get those installed. What are you doing, bud? That's my ear. That's my ear. Did you get your butt? You got your butt? Good kid.
Good boy. Just chilling.
Can you sit?
The moose is loose. That's what the fucking S10 should be.
Moose is loose. Row, row. Big babies.
Big baby.
Well, there she is. She looks good. We gotta go take her for a quick ride, get the suspension to settle down, see if she's rubbing anywhere, make any trimming cuts that need to be done, and we're in business. Off to alignment. Well, without further ado, here's the Bronco. She came out awesome. Got a little dirty. It just rained, of course, so it's not clean anymore. But there she is. Fox Elite coilovers, 37-inch tires, factory wheels, tailgate reinforcement, Ford Performance, third brake light, upgrade, and then we got the rock sliders from RCI with the filler plates. This is the Wild Track Sasquatch package. Stance came out perfect, got a slight rake. Looks awesome. This was a great build. Really enjoyed this one. It was nice working on something else. I got my Toyotas, there's my 4Runner. And then my long travel FJ on 37s is over there. And then my Tacoma on 37s is over there. Big Toyota guy. But working on that Bronco is pretty cool. They are really nice rigs, very capable. There's a lot of things I like about them. So that was a pleasure working on that, especially since it belongs to one of my best friends. And subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. If you got any suggestions or questions, hit me up. That was a very straightforward, easy install. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate everybody that watches. You guys mean the world to me. And we'll stay tuned for more on the S10. And we're going to be going to the racetrack soon. So Kong's going to be alive in the next couple weeks. You get to see the Trailblazer in action. I'm excited. She's been down for almost a year waiting on a new motor, so going to be a big day. Remember, everybody, nothing stays stock. I'm out.